Namaste, Angel. This is going to be our weekly reading and our moon reading. Sagittarius full moon. Sagittarius full moon just occurred a little while ago at 11:42 p.m. I was one of the people lucky enough to see it. I hope you were too. Happy Pride to those celebrate, and happy birthday to the Geminis. And congratulations to anybody getting married. June, I don't know if I don't necessarily know of any, but June is like the most popular month to get married or engaged. Good morning. Let's take one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Okay. So at the bottom of the deck, we have house. And something could be going on with a house. You could be moving house. You could be buying a new house. I saw today. Oh, don't mind this. My skin's peeling. Um, I saw today on YouTube, I think it was YouTube or TikTok, somewhere where some video came on that people were using Section 8 vouchers to buy homes. And they had a couple of like people who had just gotten the key to a new home and their mortgage is only like $1,200, which I thought was pretty cool, pretty amazing. So there's that. Somebody could be maybe gifted a home, or maybe you're an heir to a home based on some of the other cards that we got. So we got a little extra. I hadn't realized that so many fell out. I usually like six. We have eight here. We have occupation, gift, family room, official person, mature man, sudden wealth, toil and labor. So you may have to put effort into anything, any and everything you do, especially with occupation here too. Occupation usually means work for me. And sometimes I take it as like spiritual work, like somebody doing work on you, roots and all that kind of stuff, but not where I happen to have laid it today. Like I wasn't laying a spread, but I did lay them all before me, and I have occupation here sitting next to gift. Um, so somebody could be working hard so they can afford to buy someone a gift, maybe a birthday gift, maybe a wedding gift, maybe an engagement ring, so they can propose. We have again a lot of really positive cards like family room, official person, mature man. So it's possibly somebody who has been married before, who is older, who's a divorcee, a widower, maybe somebody with children. And when I say with children, doesn't mean they have to be little children, although that's a possibility. That's a thing, it seems. Also, lately, remember a couple weeks ago, um, maybe longer than that, because I remember doing it for a while, like for like maybe like a period of like 2 months. I kept seeing child and talking about people having babies and maybe having babies pinned on them, and you got to take a DNA test and all this kind of stuff. Um, and older men, having babies, and maybe older women having babies. Well, now we're seeing it even, with the in the pub in the not in the public, in public, among the stars. Robert De Niro just had a baby. Al Pacino just had a baby. And these are men in like their 70s and 80s. So that could be. I don't see child here, but that just came to mind. Mature man, and maybe like a mature old-fashioned man. That's why he's working so that he can buy a gift. Like if you are pregnant or he wants to have a family with you, he wants to marry you first. Because we do, like I said, we do have family room also, and toil and labor. So somebody's working hard for this, maybe to become an official person, maybe to stand before an official person. Um, could have something to do with court, although I don't see the court house card here. But I'm with the official person. I'm seeing like somebody maybe presenting you with something. So like I said, maybe you're an heir. Maybe it's a reading of a will, or you know something like that. But the only negative card we do have here is false person. And you see there's a male figure and a female figure in this picture. The male figure has on a mask. The female figure has a fan over her face. So both, are sort of covering themselves. Sometimes this can be us. We can be the false person. We can realize that we've been, you know, um, sort of holding ourselves back and or away from what's meant for us. So if it's that, then you're meant to again put in whatever effort for toward these accomplishing these things, or manifesting these things. And if it has to do with someone else, I don't know, they could be up to something with regard to this house. And that's what I just got, and I don't know what that necessarily means, like up to something like what. Maybe they're trying to charge you too much for the house, or um like trick you out of the house. Maybe because you're a mature man or old man. If somebody's like grandfather, or um like an older person has a house, is in danger of maybe losing their property, or you have like a grandparent that lives alone or something, like check on them, make sure their bills are getting paid, like nobody's trying to um like take the house on from like a tax lien or something like that. I don't, like, again, I don't see any negative cards, but I don't know what false person. I looked at false person, I looked at house, and I got like somebody trying to do something funny with the house. Also, it could be like a couple, a marriage that went bad. Um, somebody could be trying to get the house. Maybe the husband trying to get the house, the wife's trying to get the house, and whoever is this false person is that's trying to get it, they don't deserve it, obviously, because they're this false person. Maybe the other person who did all the toil and labor, and who made everything happen. Like, I paid for everything. This is my stuff. This is my house. You go. You get out. All right, let me look at another deck. I don't want to just get stuck in that. What else does the full moon have for us? Because we're going to the whoa. Hang on. A whole bunch fell out together, and they're all like the same color, which is pretty interesting. Geez. All right, I think we got all six of our cards. Bottom of the deck, we have Let It Go, which is very appropriate with the full moon. Again, full moons are about endings. So we're letting that energy go, letting the cycle in. And we got Balance, Career, and Home Life from Isis. Okay, so somebody could be, this is going to be your work life, right? Balance career and home life. Somebody could be like working too much. Remember the toil and labor? Maybe, and the occupation also came up. Maybe somebody putting just a lot of energy into work and not much time into family room and spending time with your family. Maybe it is a mature man, so maybe it's the father, or the male in the figure, who is spending a lot of time at work and maybe not enough time at home, um, with the mate and or children, or with themselves even. Whatever the situation is, Isis wants you to have both. Yes, she wants you to work hard, but yet she wants you to um not stress yourself out and make yourself sick with working either. And that just becomes your only existence, is to work. And then one day, you look up and you're a mature man, and the next thing your time here is up, and all you've done is work. She doesn't want that for you. So she wants balance. We have a card with a full moon in it coming out for our full moon portion of the reading, and it does say right on it. So that could be very mercurial. Thought is on the bottom. Thought for me is definitely Mercury. Um, the original Mercury. And he has these two staffs in his hand. So it's like a two of wands energy. We do have Mars entering Leo this week. That could be what that's about. So we have like the Gemini sun, there's the full moon, the Sagittarius full moon behind it, and we got some Mars and Leo coming through, I think, as well. Especially when I look at the Sphinx, I think of like lion and cats and stuff. Um, so he's saying right. So maybe that there could be downloads, messages that come in, and or dreams that you have. You should write those down. You're also maybe guided to write a text, a letter, an email to someone about something. Doesn't have to be romantic, but when I picked up the right card, underneath it was twin flame. So maybe it is to a romantic interest or a mate you're being guided to write, to reach out to them, perhaps. We also have come out of the closet, and I think I just wish everybody a happy Pride. That could be what the false mask is about too for some people. They could be in the closet, like in terms of they need to come out as, LGBTQIA plus identifying. They're pretending to be straight, somebody. Um, and it could be because of a twin flame relationship that you need to come out. Maybe if you can't talk to this mature man, maybe it's your father, maybe you should write him instead. Write him a letter, send him a card. Dad, I'm gay. Okay, whatever it is. Because the next card is freedom. So, however you identify, whether it's, LGBTQIA plus or straight or whatever, however you identify, uh, there is a message here about following one's own path and being free. And again, balancing your life. So for your own good and your own health, your own well-being, your own success and your own happiness, as opposed to other people. And if you are wondering how you are going to manage to do that, the last card is spiritual law of attraction. Like I said, at the bottom of the deck, we did have let it go. So this could be, letting go of any and everything that's been holding you back so far, including any fear that has, kept you from your freedom and from, living in your truth, living your life the way it's meant to be um, lived. I just heard a song, actually minutes after seeing the Sagittarius full moon, by what's probably my favorite band of all time. If I had to name one, this is the group Shalimar. Um, and the song was "Make That Move." I think that might have been like the second time I heard that this weekend too. Um, Make that move. It talks about life being short and these opportunities only coming around. Oh, oh, I got a nice couple sitting here. So we have the Ace of Wands that just fell out, and then we have at the bottom of the deck the Empress. So right away it started talking to me about Jupiter and Taurus. The Empress represents the signs of Taurus, Libra, and Gemini, because it represents the planet Venus, who moves into, like I said, Leo this week. So that could be another reason for this wand, the Eight of Wands, if it's not Jupiter and Taurus. But somehow I also ended up with this smaller pile because the Empress is on the bottom of pretty much, the bulk of the deck. And then I ended up with this smaller pile too. And we have the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles is a good mate for the Empress because he is probably the highest and or most well-rounded and grounded of the kings. And so like the next stage would be the emperor or mature man. So this is like as close as the emperor as you're going to get without it being the emperor. I think so. To have him opposite the empress, I think is very positive. So he could be viewing you as an empress. You could be viewing him as a king. This could be a mutual thing. And if you have a person in mind, there could be some type of new beginning between you. Very, very abundant. Very, very abundant. You're both like master manifestors. In addition to that, this one's probably a very hard worker. This one probably has a lot of stuff that comes to her. Um, I don't want to say easily, but I mean because it's manifestation, she's a magnet. Spiritual law of attraction. She's a magnet for like positivity and good things. All right, let's get some more cards. Oh goodness, no, that's too many. Uh, I will tell you what they are though. The Chariot, the Ace of Swords, and the Seven of Swords. And the reason I decided to tell you is because the Chariot is Major Arcana card 7, and um, then we had the Seven of Swords. And earlier I was talking about 777. July 7th, 2023 is 777. And I think in the past couple of readings we've been seeing like a lot of sevens. So I just had a channel message about that earlier. Uh, because I had been thinking, I had been getting messages like something's going to happen on 6/4, on 6/7. And then today I was like, I heard, got like this message. Maybe it's not so much a need to focus on 6/7, but 7/7. And I was like, oh, speaking of the emperor, here he is, along with the king of wands at the bottom of the deck. Well, he just fell. Speaking of being a master manifester, the magician had flipped around backwards. Was that just a fairy? Haven't seen them in a couple of weeks, maybe longer. Hang on. Knight of Cups. Oh, so I was saying about the song. Like one of the lines is like, the longer you wait on love. Oh, speaking of love, and I just stopped shuffling randomly, like nothing flipped out, but when I looked at the bottom of the deck, the lovers happens to be at the bottom of the deck. I'm just gonna take the next card at the top, and it's the Nine of Cups. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. The longer you wait on love, the more you be without it. Um, one thing's for certain. No, wait, nothing. No, nothing is certain. You have to hold on tight when you know it's right. You know, like you have to go after it. You got to do some. You got to put in some toil and labor, do some work because these things don't just, even like real love doesn't just necessarily come to you without you putting in the effort and making a move. All right, so we have the King of Swords, who can be the stubborn type and maybe not the type to make a move. He's sort of, he doesn't have his hands in front of him. Sometimes you see him like with his hands in front of him, like blocking himself. He looks a little more relaxed in this deck, but he has his sword up, so he's maybe not approachable. He doesn't want to be vulnerable. He's protecting himself. We got to be able to get past that. But we do have the Knight of Cups here. So somebody is wanting to make an offer, or somebody has an offer coming toward them. And if so, it is something they worked on manifesting. The Magician here. Um, from an old school tarot perspective, with the Magician here, and with the Magician here alone, but then on top of that, with the Lovers in the bottom of the deck, we could be talking specifically about a woman's soulmate. If you're reading the cards like the old-fashioned way, traditional tarot, got the Nine of Cups here. So there's, again, it's a wish fulfillment, something you worked on manifesting, and maybe with somebody who is, they've been around the block, they're older and wiser now, and perhaps they're ready for a new beginning because of that. So let's see, let's go through some of these energies too. A lot of fire, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. A lot of Gemini, the Magician, the Lovers, the King of Swords. Of course, the King of Swords can also be Libra, um, or Aquarius energy as well. And the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups. So we got everybody here. The King of Pentacles is not here anymore. So we don't have the Earth here. But when I pick up the Lovers, the Empress is under it. So she's back. So we have some Earth. We got the Taurus energy here. We did. I mean, we did have Earth energy. We had Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn with the King of Pentacles. So again, manifesting. If it's not love, I mean, it looks like love because we got the Magician, we got the Lovers, we got the Knight of Cups, we got the Empress, the Nine of Cups, the Ace of Wands, like somebody wanting to give you their wand, very passionate kind of thing. But if it's not that, it could be something else that you wanted very much, maybe a career, maybe a new job. Maybe that's why the Emperor is here. You've been praying and hoping and working really, really hard, being very, very dedicated, like a King of Swords. Um, to your craft, and now you're finally getting an opportunity to be a boss, a supervisor, an emperor. May involve travel, the new job. If it's not love or work, it's something else again that you manifested that is like a dream come true that you really worked hard at manifesting and that you have emotional feelings about with the Nine of Cups and the Knight of Cups here. Now let's look for some energies for the week. Another important line, I just picked up another one of my tarot decks. With this one, we're starting, Jesus, this is so silly. With the Six of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, Hierophant is behind that, upright. So this could be about a balanced partnership, a balanced relationship, or some sort of contractual agreement where, the giving and receiving is equal, it's reciprocal. So if it's a relationship, that's really nice. Romantic, whatever kind of relationship, even a friendship. You don't want to be an overgiver in any kind of situation. So, well, this woman also has two presents in her hand. So, gift is still staring me in the face. I didn't even realize. I was going to say gift was one of the cards we looked at in the first, when I first started. She's got two gift boxes. Oh goodness, oh my god, gift boxes in her hands. So there could be something about that too, in terms of getting some sort of present. Because the Six of Pentacles can also be about like abundance that we receive that we don't have to work for. It comes through the form of like another like an earth angel or as if it fell out the sky sometimes. It's like right on time when we need it. Um, a lot of the time. Ooh, the tower. Face up. But when I looked at the bottom of the deck, the star and the Six of Cups sitting here, and the world behind it, which is like the tower, but a slower energy. So this just can be about cycles ending. Here's the King of Pentacles again from a different deck. He's the card that fell out before the tower. And he too is upright. So maybe he does make a move, and that's what's shocking. And toward his wish fulfillment, because we do have the star here. And we do have the Six of Cups. So it could be toward somebody who's been interested in a while, somebody from his past, maybe even an ex. And if it's not, again, a romantic situation, then it's still something that he's dreamed about, he's prayed for, he's wanted for a long time, and it suddenly happens. It suddenly comes through, or he suddenly makes a move toward it, or at least initiates something. Because with the world here, that could be slower energy, and threes can be about the need for patience, and you got to wait, like it doesn't happen overnight. Um, but yeah, even if it's a career, because of course the King of Pentacles can be about money and stuff. So it could be some money or something material for which we've prayed also. If it's not a job, then we're finally getting it. Could be something attached to our childhood, so maybe like a childhood home, um, because the tower can also be about a home, a tower, a structure, a building for me. And maybe it's like a long time coming with the cycle. Maybe there's been like somebody's will that's been in probate, or I don't know. Maybe with the pandemic, there was something going on with your home. We have a lot of people that had different issues with their mortgages or their rents or whatever, and are in court or different things. So I'm seeing very positive cards here. In fact, they distracted me from doing what I was supposed to be doing, which was pulling the cards for the week. So let me pull one more for this little story. Okay, so far nothing fell out, but we have a Three of Swords in reverse. So, like I said, something that had been difficult, painful, maybe involved even betrayal, loss, is turned around for the better. Five of Swords in reverse as well. The Three of Swords, the Ten of Swords, and the Five of Swords in reverse with the Page of Wands standing up is what just flipped over face up. So again, this is new opportunity for something to come. Oh, and justice up right at the bottom. So again, things happening in your favor now. Um, and where there had been pain and loss, that time is over. All right, so let me put these back because, like I said, I was supposed to be pulling cards for the week, and I sort of forgot all about that. King of Pentacles could be on his way for somebody who's really wanted him to show up. Maybe an Aquarius with the star, maybe another Earth sign, um, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, maybe a Libra with justice in the bottom. Okay. Card most directly representing us this week is the Eight of Pentacles. Surrounding energy, we have the Nine of Cups. Work and finance. Well, nothing came in. Oh, wait. No, work and finance. There it goes. Queen of Wands. Not too shabby. Let the moon reverse the bottom of the deck now. Pisces energy. Things aren't what they seem. There's illusion. You may not understand everything you see, or things may not be actually as you feel they are. So keep your mouth shut. Don't just make false accusations or what might be false accusations because you don't know what you're talking about. Everything is fine. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the Knight of Swords at the bottom. So everything is fine just throughout. It's that card that looks like the Ten of Pentacles, but it's not. The bottom says everything is fine. You can see that. Knight of Swords. The bottom of the deck now. Upright. More Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We need the card for the spiritual energy. Right? And it is the Three of Wands. Six of Cups. Down at the bottom of the deck. So again, things feeling nostalgic, things from our childhood, maybe things involving children, our siblings, going on this week, positive memories, maybe getting together, maybe memorializing somebody, remembering somebody. Um, Soulmate card too, reconnecting with somebody. So for card most directly representing us this week, we have the Eight of Pentacles. And on surrounding energy, we have the Nine of Cups. For work and finance, we have the Queen of Wands. For love and relationship, we have the Page of Cups in reverse. And for physical health, everything is fine. And for spiritual health, the Three of Wands. All right, I was just guided to share the words of this song with you guys because I guess I wasn't telling you all the parts that I was supposed to tell you. So here goes the lyrics of To Make That Move by Shalimar. So many times by holding back, I let the good things pass me by. So that's what I was talking about in that first spread about missing out on stuff and not living for ourselves, maybe living for other people, not coming out of the closet, not, prioritizing ourselves, all that stuff. Um, so by holding back, I let the good things pass me by. And then one day I asked myself the reason why. Like, why am I doing this? And like an answer from above, you came into my life and showed me one thing for sure. With love, nothing is certain. You've got to go for it when you feel it. Everybody needs some burning love, and I choose you. That's very important to choose a person, like consciously, to want to be with. Like you make a you make a decision that I want them, not just ending up with them, not settling, not just happenstance we ended up together, but like to actually, actively and consciously, purposely choose a person. So he says he chooses her, so he wants to make the move right now because you only go out once in a lifetime. You only live once, basically. YOLO is what he's saying. So natural to give into feelings deep inside when love is due. And I knew something was missing because I feel brand new. So now that he's with her, now he realizes something that had been missing. And motivations in my heart whenever I'm with you. So, girl, whatever you do, just remember love is emotion. I said that many times. I don't say love is emotion, but love, I've said love is an action word. You know, it's about doing something. You got to hold on tight when you know it's right. Everybody needs some burning love, and I choose you. So let's make that move. Um, is this different? No, I think it just repeats those. So, all right. So that's pretty much the whole song. All right. So the Eight of Pentacles again is our primary card this week, the card that most directly represents. So this week, whether it's personal or professional, we're going to be, or we may be, working really hard for something. So some similar to in the song was it, one day I asked myself the reason why. You might want to think about like, what am I working toward? What am I working for? So that you can be prepared for whatever it is you're going into. And then of course, it's going to be about like exactly why you did the work. So like reaping what you've sown, getting out of it what you put, but it's like necessary effort. It's opposed to the Six of Pentacles that I was talking about when I said something could just like fall out of the sky for you, or come through the form of like an earth angel or something. This you're actually working toward um something, and you might find yourself with a lot on your plate, especially if this Eight of Pentacles shows up for you specifically having to do with your work and or career. You could have, just be really bogged down at work this week. um, I'm thinking that that's probably not the primary reason why the Eight of Pentacles is showing up here, though, with the Nine of Cups next to it. So again, somebody close to us, or something that's happening that involves us that may have to do with our work, because that second place for me is something having to do possibly with your job or your coworkers or your mate or your close family, close friends, those kind of surrounding energies. Seventh house relationships, like where this full moon is for us Geminis, with it being in Sagittarius. So the closest one-on-one relationships, your BFF, all that kind of stuff, and that's the Nine of Cups there. So there's some wish fulfillment that you are at least indirectly benefiting from. There's some dreams coming true, some prayers being answered, and some happiness being found. This person only needs one more cup to have the full, max happiness. Um, so they're going to be sharing that with you. You're in close enough proximity to them where that is going to benefit you too this week. So I don't think it would be that you're bogged down at work. If anything, maybe it's that you get a job or you get a promotion. If it has to do with wish fulfillment and happiness. Um, which again is very possible with the Queen of Wands in our placement of work and finance, because she's one of the most positive cards. If you are getting a job this week, it may be specifically a woman, and maybe even more specifically a light-haired woman, and more specifically, I feel like I said this. Let's feel like deja vu. I feel like I said this last week. More specifically, a light-haired woman who's a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, that is helping you, or on your job if you need some sort of support. It can be this kind of person that is helping you, maybe a female, feminine energy. Um, Otherwise, if it does apply to you that you're going to be sort of bogged down with work, with by the Eight of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands in the position of work means that you're going to get a lot done. So it maybe doesn't matter if you're bogged down. You are perfectly capable of knocking it all out this week. You got that kind of energy. As it relates to finances, um, this is the kind of week where you're in the mood to sort of pay attention to what you're spending. Doesn't mean money's going to be bad. I mean, the Queen of Wands is a very positive card, and she's upright here. And again, um, Jupiter, the planet of growth, expansion, luck, and stuff, is in Taurus, which is a money sign ruled by Libra, ruled by Venus rather. Um, so that could be what the wands are about, the Jupiter energy. There's a black cat here in this picture that just jumped out at me, and a sunflower. Hmm. I don't know why I was made to look at those all of a sudden. What the hell was I even saying? Oh, so it doesn't mean money's going to be bad. It just means like you're in the mood to sort of pay attention to your spending and know where the money's going and maybe not spend if you feel it's overindulgence or something. Um, so I talked about if you're looking for a job or if you are overworked, so there may be somebody, maybe specifically again a female that helps you. So, love and relationship, we have the Page of Cups in reverse. And the Page of Cups in reverse, if you already have somebody or have somebody in mind or already in a committed relationship, this can be talking about, again, that person maybe that's working too hard. Um, from the first spread that we did, that King of Pentacles, that's my phone, sorry about that. Um, the person that the goddess Isis was talking about that needs balance between working, like this person needs more to loosen up and have a little bit more fun. Oh goodness. Yeah. um they got to be willing to to dare to dream and to take chances and to not be so uptight and stuff. If it has to do with maybe single people that have their eye on somebody in particular, maybe you got your heart set on somebody, you could sort of have your heart set on somebody who is like chronically just unavailable. And maybe they're unavailable because they work too much or too damn hard or whatever, and they don't have good balance. That could be the case. If you're able to talk to them about it, then maybe you can coax them into putting the work down and spending some time with you this week. If not, Page of Cups kind of says if you're dealing with this kind of person that for whatever reason they're unavailable, you may want to make like a deadline of how long you're willing to, how much energy you're willing to put into this, how long you're willing to, sort of wait for them to be available or make themselves available, for you. If you're like giving, giving, giving to a relationship, remember the Six of Pentacles, and it's not being reciprocated, it's not being given back, it's time to get rid of it. I posted about this week actually, and I had shared with my people on my Facebook that if the person is not giving basically the way that you are, you're putting in energy, they're not putting anything, you haven't heard from them, delete them out your phone, delete the contact, delete the thread, the texts and all that. And I myself deleted years and years and years of text messages with people because like once I got started, I was just like on a roll, like cleaning my phone out. And cleaning stuff out, cleaning up and cleaning stuff out, getting rid of excess, whether it's clothes that don't fit you anymore or that you don't like anymore, donating them to somebody that can actually use them or selling them, if you were able to do that, or getting stuff out of your house that you don't need or use. You can sell it, you can trade it, you can put it on Craigslist, whatever, put it outside on the street with a sign that says free or whatever you want to do. But by getting rid of clutter and stuff that we don't need and energy that we don't need that's not benefiting us and people that we don't need because they're not benefiting us, they're not giving back to us, um, we really, really increase our own vibration and opportunities and abundance. So that's what that Page of Cups is about. In the position of physical health, we have the Everything is Fine card. So it is a ten of swords looking card. It's a woman on her phone. She's looking at, let me see if I can show y'all. She's looking at her phone, but she's got these 10 daggers in her back or her body. And at the bottom it says everything's fine. So swords are about like mental energy, our thoughts, our words. Um, she could have said something. She could have sent a text to somebody and used the wrong words, and maybe she's worried that they're not going to speak to her, they're going to be angry with her. Everything's fine. or maybe, somebody said something to her and she's reading the text and it's misinterpreted. 'Cause this is one of the reasons why I'm not the biggest fan of text, in terms of actually having real conversations, because it can definitely be misread, misinterpreted. So maybe she's reading it and thinking something's wrong, and no, it's fine. Or she's just overthinking about her health, maybe being, this is physical health. So, maybe it's not a message from a lover or whatever, maybe it's from the doctor. Or maybe she's overthinking. Am I well? Am I not well? I feel like I'm not well, like being a hypochondriac. Again, everything is fine. Or if there had been something going on with your health, maybe you're waiting for test results, or you're doing some sort of treatment, or you're waiting for some kind of treatment, again, everything is fine. So everything's fine in terms of health. Lastly, with the Three of Wands in the position of spiritual health, our spiritual health views spirituality is growing, it's expanding. Again, we got these wands, it's Three of Wands, so it could be due to Jupiter, um, and maybe Jupiter in Taurus. The sign of Taurus in the tarot represents the Hierophant, or vice versa, which is a spiritual card. Um, this is about your spirituality growing, you growing, and you having at least like a somewhat mature view, or idea, concept of spirituality. Um, because you're growing, you may change also, and you got to be okay with that, like with changing your views. Um, maybe you used to be conservative and now you're liberal. That's, I don't know why that example came out, but it could be something like that. Well, conservative, because a lot of times religious people are conservative people, and now your mind is opening and you're more liberal. I guess that's why. I mean, it wasn't a planned thought; it just came out of my mouth. But it does make sense now that I think about it myself. So, just got to be okay with growing and changing, and not everything being the same. And maybe you did learn a particular way as a child. And maybe your family went to church or synagogue or mosque or whatever it is together. And now so you're doing things differently. So you can look back on that fondly, but again, you're moving forward with your life in a way that most benefits you, prioritizing yourself, um, and living. You get one life. You get one life, so it's best that you live it for you and not other people. And if you do that, you should have a really good week. I want to do one more thing, because since I doubled this with the moon reading, I should have done the spread from the masculine perspective. Where's my other cards? Hang on. I'm starting out with the Five of Pentacles. And there's this woman in a wedding gown standing outside of a place. Maybe she got left at the altar. I was watching a video earlier today about this woman that says she got ghosted like weeks before her wedding. Somebody, her fiance, go, and thing is getting out of hand. I really don't like the ghosting at all. Another King of Pentacles. So it's a good week for money, or a good week for romance with a King of Pentacles. And you may have some sort of connection with music, or maybe that's how you make your money, something having to do with music or craftsmanship. This King of Pentacles is like in a workshop and appears to be making like a guitar from scratch or something. Okay. Oh, let me cut. The camera had stopped and I don't know where, and I just did a whole spread. So I hope that you saw the last spread, and that all you missed is this one. And I'm just going to tell you what the cards are, because they're really, really good, and I'm not going to just attach it. When I edit the film, I'll just put all the little pieces together. Um, So in the position of the feminine, the first card was the High Priestess. And I talked about her, just looking sort of, worn and tired. And she may be in separation in a relationship. Sometimes for me, the high priestess is, is about ghosting and stuff too, or relationships that are in separation. And then I talked about, then I pulled the Six of Wands and had this guy on it, and I said, he's handicapped, he feels like he's at a disadvantage, maybe because he did ghost her or something. But I made note, I think I made note of the Four Wands here, and there's two wands here. So it's a Six of Wands, but the wands are separated. So it's like the Two of Wands is the twin flame card of the tarot. We got the Four of Wands, which people call the 1111. I mean, somehow it seems to be like it's becoming the twin flame card of the tarot too. But it is about, relationships, commitments, joy, happiness. So, I think he wants that with her. With the high priestess, she's either older or more mature, or both. She's abundant on her own. She's got this bowl of pomegranates. She doesn't need him. She might desire him, and with him, coming in the form of the Six of Wands, it's a victory for them. So they may be able to find their way back to each other. He's got a ball in his hand, so it's like he wants to, play ball. He wants to give it a try. He wants to give it a go. Then the next card I pulled was the Queen of Wands. So I talked about the fact that he may now we got two sports cards. The first guy was playing basketball, and now this woman's lifting weights. So it said this person, the masculine, even though there's a female in this card, she could be a masculine, and the masculine may be particularly athletic. So that's when I started to wonder if maybe I was talking about like certain groups of people or specific people or whatever, in this spread. But then I came to realize that it could be for people who are already together, who maybe feel like they're losing the spark or they need to kick up the spark a bit, or people who are separated that this reading could be for. So that was the divine feminine, the masculine as it relates to the feminine. Oh, and the masculine as it relates to himself is this Queen of Wands. So feeling, particularly confident this week and strong. And again, he might maybe very good looking, maybe he works out, all that kind of stuff, because of this, just the way this woman looks here. She's in good shape. Um, Maybe a light-haired person too. And then the masculine's feelings about the union or connection as a whole, we got more wands. We got the Ace of Wands now. And we had Ace of Wands earlier in the reading, in one of the other spreads that I did. So then overall, I pulled the star and talked about the two people pointing up, like making a wish, together. So they have shared dreams, shared wishes, that, maybe for themselves as a couple. And so they really want to try to make something happen together. Then I pulled the card, like what energy the masculine would have the feminine bring to the union connection if it were up to him. And it was the Page of Swords. And so I said he wants communication, for you to either be receptive to him communicating with you, or maybe even for you to reach out. And then I said, I'm getting a feeling also that he like watches you on social media and stuff, or and he wishes that you would like read his too. Like you're not reading his, and so you're missing like messages that he's trying to send you, like subs. I don't know. I don't know what that was, but then it seemed like maybe it was true because, well, I'll tell you when I get there. The next card was the masculine, um, what energy he's bringing to the union of connection himself right now. It's the Four of Wands. So it's one of commitment and, or desire to have commitment. And so then I started talking about how people can go into commitment and then figure it out. You don't have to date a million years before you decide to become committed. You can do it the other way around, and I can attest to that. I've done it before, where even like the first day, I just met you and this is crazy, you know. But yeah, and you decide what you're going to do. Okay, we're going to be exclusive, you know, and then you figure out the rest, like what that means later, whether it is you at a distance. There's people that are on, relationship by phone, all this kind of 90-day fiance stuff. People that are getting married that haven't even met. That's what I mean. You can enter a commitment and then work it out later. If you are, again, either meeting each other brand new or your exes or whatever, And I think maybe particularly if you've already been in each other's lives, like and you've been stuck in cycles and stuff already, it probably would help for you to define like what it is that we're doing. Oh, we're gonna be together. We're gonna actually give this a go. Okay, let me change my Facebook status right now to, in a relationship, and then we can figure out what else we're doing after. It doesn't mean we have to get married, um, at all, or but certainly not right now. But at least now we can know like what boundaries and parameters and whatever to set up within this connection. So it seems like I say all that to say the masculine was on the same page as me because he came out with the Four of Wands. Then the card, what the universe of God wanted to help us with, help us to the both entities to, bring to the connection and to work out. And it was the Hermit. So the Hermit, as it relates to love and relationship, is almost always about a relationship from your past, rekindling a relationship from your past. And so then what I had thought about the high priestess made sense, that it was a relationship with people in separation or something, maybe even no contact, because the hermit walks around with the star in his lantern, so that he can watch you and keep an eye on you. So that's when I said, oh, had been talking about maybe he wants you to spy on him the way he spies on you. He's definitely spying on you. And then we got the Page of Swords and the Hermit, two cards that can be about looking in on somebody and making sure, just seeing what they're up to, what they're doing. um and so then, oh, and then I pulled the card for what energy we're going to go into the new moon in Gemini with, and that's the Knight of Pentacles. So then I talked about, I said, okay, so this is a slow moving energy. So this, I had connected it to what I was saying about entering the relationship. Like you can enter a relationship, you could decide to be committed, decide to be exclusive, and then still take things slow. Just because you decide to be, exclusive doesn't mean you have to hop in the bed or hop in, run down to the courthouse to get married or any of that. Have a baby, none of that. You can decide, this is what we're doing. In fact, I've been in situations where we decided we're not having sex. Like, not that we never wanted to, or, he never wanted to, or whatever. Um, but just like, no, we need to get to know each other. So, we can take it slow that way. But we're only getting to know each other. So there's still a commitment there. There's still exclusivity there, because we're only talking to each other or dealing with each other or dating each other or whatever it is, and getting to know each other. We're not bringing other people. And the good thing about the Knight of Pentacles is that he is said to be the only knight that at least reaches his goal. So even if you're taking it slow, you're gonna get there. You're gonna get there. So all these wonderful energies take us into the new moon in Gemini. And by the time of the new moon in Gemini, something is actually happening and moving forward, albeit likely slow or a long time coming, or both. Um, could definitely involve, let's see the signs here. So the High Priestess, Gemini, water sign, particularly Pisces, um, and Cancer is the High Priestess. Then the Page of Swords, more Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. The Queen of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The Knight of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, the Hermit, Virgo, the Star, Aquarius. I got the Chariot laying here too. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Because then after that, I also asked if there was anything else that they wanted to tell us, the cards wanted to tell us and share with us. And the first card that flew out was the Chariot. And it said the Chariot is the card of movement, moving, new home, maybe new pet, okay, new fur baby or something like that. Victory. And then the next card that flew out was the Five of Wands. And we see in this card, someone's angry and they're packing up and leaving. And that's another thing that we're seeing. We're seeing relationships, people decide what they want, who they want, and they're moving forward. So maybe they are entering commitment all of a sudden. Um, and then we're also seeing people, get cut out of the lives of people they would have never expected to be cut out of, or, they're cutting people out of their lives they would have never expected to be, getting rid of. But it's happening with all the transits that we're experiencing